Hey, thanks for tuning in today. I don't know if you can hear those birds in the background. They're actually seagulls, which is really weird. I'm actually just podcasting on the balcony of my room at the Langham Hotel in Melbourne. This balcony, not an ordinary balcony. It is, I feel like I've got my own rooftop bar. The balcony is bigger than my entire room, and it overlooks the Yarra, it overlooks Federation Square. It is the most epic of rooms ever. And so what is it like to be able to hang out here, work in the sun? Melbourne's really put on the sun today. And yeah, get some work done. And I'm here hosting a session tomorrow for Chisholm TAFE. And I just wanted to talk about my Oura Ring today. I could have picked any topic. I'm thinking about the Oura Ring because I'm looking at it this morning. My readiness score is pretty average. And what that is a score out of 100 based on various things like your resting heart rate, your breathing, levels of stress, and everything else. What the Ring is, if you don't know, it's a piece of wearable technology. There's also something called a Whoop band. I've got an Apple Watch already, which gives me pretty good metrics, but I really wanted to, I love metrics, I love tech. And the reason I actually got this Oura Ring is my friend Steph Clark, when we were out last year at dinner after the MBS rooftop event, which was like a huge day, big night, she sent me a text the next morning. Her readiness score was like terrible. It was like a 40 out of 100, and it said, oh yeah, just watch out. I was like, well, that's some good data to have. And then she mentioned that the Oura Ring, what it can do is it can predict if you're about to get sick in 2 or 3 days because of all the indicators. That is amazing, I think, an amazing sort of warning signal to then take preventative action as opposed to just steamrolling through. Now, sometimes you don't have that chance if work and life are hectic, but at least you've got a heads up and you can maybe shift some things around to give yourself some more rest and recovery as well. So that's why I love the Oura Ring, is it because of those metrics. There's lots of other reasons why I like it. I find it fascinating mapping stress levels, because I think stress is, my heart rate's up and I can feel the stress. But what surprised me on certain days is I don't think that I am stressed, but my biometrics tell me that I am. And so that's when you really need to start things like thinking about getting sleep, your nutrition, hydration, what you're actually doing, the workload, your attitude. There's so many things, right? Because stress is the biggest killer. So my goal is to really improve that. What I've been focusing on is improving my resilience score. And just the other week, I got to the exceptional stage, but in no time at all. I think as a result of Milo passing away on Friday, it's now just bumped down to strong. So I'll have to do some more work there and just build up my routine again. But yeah, just really interesting stats on that. Another great stat is heart rate variability. Now, I don't know too much about the science of heart rate variability, but we use it a lot when you're in training for something. And ideally, you want to have like a HRV over 60 or 70, so you can that's when you can really push your body and do some really high intensity endurance type of activities. When you shouldn't is when it's quite low. Mine today is really quite low. And I usually, this is where I'm really not great at using my Oura Ring, is if I have a program, like I've got my Nepal program, I'll follow it. And then, so I'll wake up, I'll do the thing I was meant to do. And then afterwards, I'll check my readiness score, because I really don't want my readiness score to dictate whether I do something hard or not. Sometimes I find I do a really great workout. At the beginning, I don't feel that great, but after 10, 15 minutes, I feel amazing. And so you can hack it that way. I think for Nepal, though, it's a bit different. The reason I'm doing that is it's quite different in that you want to be training when you're tired, because that's going to replicate what it's going to be like hiking on end, maybe not sleeping well, altitude, all these concerns, not eating the right food, or just out of your routine. So that's why I'm doing it that way. The other cool thing that Oura does is it gives you what your chronotype is in terms of your chronotypes over time. I think over about 90 days it tracks you, and then it gives you what your chronotype is. And mine is the early morning type. I'll read this to you. It says, rising before the dawn. You are a rare early morning type. You feel awake, alert, and energetic in the early mornings. For you, morning is a time to do a workout and intellectual work alike. You've already tackled many of the day's tasks by the time evening types are only starting. Okay, and then what it tells me is make sure you get enough sleep. Social schedules are not a problem for you unless they run late. So true. Staying up every now and then is fine as long as you return to your natural sleep schedule as soon as you can. You might feel tempted to stay up for social occasions, but it's okay to opt out and focus on a schedule that works best for you. Less than 10% of people are early morning types. Yeah, I'm curious about this data because I would imagine a lot of Australians are early morning types. Often the comment I get from people that travel in from the US and Europe and Asia is like they can't believe that we have cafes open at 5:30 in the morning. And I get frustrated when I go to Asia or the UK and nothing opens till like 9 or 10. Super frustrating. Then it gives me my schedule for optimal sleep schedule for me. So I should when I should go to bed and when I should wake up. it's telling me go to bed at 8:22, wake up by 4:22. Yeah, and there's all these reports, and you can share it with friends, and you can, so Steph and I have got each other on a circle, which is like a network. I can see like what we're up to. Yes, that's that. It tracks your activity when you're sleeping, you're napping, any type of activity that you do. Really fun investment. I think I've got a link, so if you want to get 15% off or something like that, I'll put that into the show notes for this one. But yeah, that's the Oura Ring. Thanks for listening, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.